Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out Siralim 2. I apologize this video took as long as it did, but there's been a bunch of technical issues with this game, including one that made the game unplayable more or less until a patch came out a few days ago. And I only just managed to get around to getting this video done, so we're going to go do that now. We're just going to hit continue. As you can see, I've put a pretty ridiculous amount of time into this game via both failed recordings and just general time into it in general. And so, hopefully I'll be able to at least remotely talk about it. We're not going to waste any time here just yet. We're just going to head straight into a realm, which is basically the game's levels. And I don't know how deep the levels go, but considering this is somewhat procedurally generated, I imagine it goes down a very, very long way. But we'll get into how all that works later. For now, let's just hop into a level and see what we can find. Looks like we're about to get straight into a fight, which is interesting. As you can see, there's another monster there along with my party of 6 that follows along behind me. But it does not seem to be... Never mind. As soon as I say that, it walks straight into us. So, here are the battles. The battles in this game are very simple, more or less. I mean, there's not that much to understand, is what I'm trying to say. The battles are 6 on 6. It starts out being less, but eventually you will come across 6 on 6 fights, and you'll start to have them quite often. And everything, you got your thing on the right there, which is your turn order, and obviously this is determined by your monster's speed. They've all got a very simple set of stats. Strength, strength, intelligence, speed defense is a thing as well. And depending on your monster's what's the word I'm looking for? Depending on your monster's alignment, well, not so much alignment as much as type, they can be death, nature, chaos, I think is one. Bunch of other things. You can get things like different spells that you can put on them. Spells in this game are actually equipable items, which is quite neat. And you can also give them different artifacts, which is nice. Artifacts are basically items. They have different stats on them, and we can get into how all that works later. When you're fighting monsters, if you manage to damage them enough, you can actually extract their cores, which is... Their cores are basically things that'll let you produce those monsters back at your home base, which is great, because this game's got over 500 monsters for you to fight, and being able to pick your own team of 6 from monsters that you like is fantastic. Like, for example, every one of these monsters has a unique ability, and the unique ability of the Moss Giant is that if it hits defend, it gets to snare everything in the general area. Every one of the monsters. It's like a 65% chance. And if they're snared, that means they might actually skip their turn, which is brilliant. Which means that I can just kill everything while I just can't move. Unfortunately, that guy managed to get rid of it immediately, but his curse killed him. Because I found an item that will let me start every fight with all the enemies having curse, which is fantastic to have right off the bat. The Firewound Angel actually adds burn to every attack that it does. It's also worth noting that I have a special set of runes that actually work off my Raptorous School's ability to do Rain of Blood, which is fantastic, and I can get into that shortly. At the end of every battle, you get a bunch of different resources. You get power balance, which basically determines how hard the fights are, but it'll also determine how much loot and stuff you get. If we come back along here, we're going to get into another fight before we even manage to talk to the monster, which is kind of annoying. The fights in this game do take a somewhat large amount of time, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, you can turn on specific modes that'll help you out with this. Like, I've currently got turbo mode on, which makes everything slightly faster. You can also hold down the X button to make things a fair bit extra faster. Also of note is that there is an ultra turbo mode, but due to the way the game works during this patch that I'm playing right now, for some reason it makes the entire game, well, not the entire game, the battles. What the hell am I saying in the entire game? Am I going retarded? I'm going retarded. It makes the entire game, it makes the battles, god damn it, it makes the battles act like random buttons are being pressed. It's very weird. I'm not entirely sure why it does that, but it does. Like, you'll just end up pressing the X button repeatedly for no discernible reason. I'm not entirely sure what it's about, but it does it. The game is kind of weird like that. you'll find weird bugs, but then the developer is like, oh, hey, I realize that this is bugged, let me fix that. And he literally fixed it within like 3-4 days of the game coming out. Which is great, because it's nice to see that he's relatively, well, not so much relatively, just dedicated to actually getting his game fixed up. But anyway, I'm just going to hold the X button until it's my turn again. The battles are fairly easy to understand. It's not like anything too far can go by without you noticing that it happens. What have we got? Firewound Angel is my weakest monster, so I might as well go for the thing that's weakest right now. I have all these monsters' cores, so I don't really see the need to try to extract them. You can also provoke with whatever monster you feel like, and provoking with a monster will result in all physical attacks going towards that monster. Very useful if you've got someone who can hit like a truck and you're going up against them. And you're going up against someone who can hit like a truck, but you want them to stay out of danger, one way or another. I have no idea what I just said. I'm having a horrible day. So let's just get rid of this Minotaur warrior. Down he goes. More numbers, more resources, more everything, because more of everything is good. So if we talk to this, is Erebus the goddess of darkness, and she's happy to meet me. That's very strange. But anyway, now that we've done that, we actually get a side quest every time we enter this realm. There's like 18 of these, and even within like 8 hours of gameplay, I still haven't visited them all yet. So that's a thing. The special things they can give you are things like Alteration Spells, which will let you teleport straight to their realm if you want to. You can find... Oh dear. Oh, it's a special battle. Alright, but... Well, it's not really that special, but it's a battle nonetheless. So let's just hold X and let it speed past here. Weak and vulnerable. That's not good. I better cast Rain of Blood. Make sure these guys can't do anything. Make sure these guys can't do anything without getting massive damage, but... Well, that's the whole point. But as I was saying, there are 18 realms, and all the different gods can do different things. They can give you alteration spells, they can give you special bonuses, they can even give you, like, special monsters you can't get otherwise, since, again, there's over 500 monsters in this game. So, having to find and get 500 bloody monsters is pretty ridiculous. You can breed, you can you can get every monster that you capture the core of, which means that there's plenty of... Oh dear, I'm not doing very well. We'll kill anything I can that's dying. Bloody hell, 0 damage, are you serious? You die now, please. Thank you. And the uniform for fire, yeah, we'll just take him out. No point doing the transformation combo that my party is so well known for. We'll get into that. What's my Sand Giant going to do? He's going to attack. Aim for something that's very close to dying. Basically, the entire idea of this game, it's basically a numbers game, if you couldn't tell. These levels are procedurally generated, and of course, going around them and doing all the random goals will give you more favor with the gods, or it'll give you more resources, which you turn into making your monsters stronger for the fights. And then you turn those numbers into more numbers, and you turn those numbers into more numbers, and it just continues on like that. And the game basically goes on forever. And there are plenty of other mechanics around the outside of the game that are like this, and... Well, it's perfectly fine. It works pretty damn well, actually. It can keep you engaged for a surprising amount of time. It's definitely an endless treadmill game. It is a Disgaea or a Diablo with a bit of monster breeding going on in the background there as the... Well, not so much in the background as much as in the foreground being the main mechanic of the game and all. I really need to learn my words. But nevertheless, it is really just one of those sorts of games. You go through the dungeons, you get all the numbers, you use those numbers to improve your current numbers. That's basically the entire point of the thing. We just got a breeding compendium page, which is basically, oh great, another fight. We got a breeding compendium page as a reward, which gives you a... Oh dear. It gives you a bunch of combinations for different monsters if you want to know. If you want to know how to get a specific monster, that's the way to do it. There's also a bunch of different kinds of rewards, like, as I said before, artifacts, which have a main stat, and then they'll have a bunch of, like, secondary stats. So, for example, you might take 70% less damage from chaos monsters if you have a shield, just as an example. But then you might have a bunch of other things on top, like you'll get 23 more energy for your construction at the end of... Well, it's dead. You might get 23%, you might get 23 extra energy, or you might get just 10 extra attack, or you might just get 5 defense, or more speed, or just, you know, the typical sort of stat upgrades like that. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Oh, good God, my guy is really badly hurt. This party's not doing so well. I got 2 dead already. They've only got 1, and I've got that bloody thing already 3 away. Are those eggs? Those look like eggs. That's not good. And they just crystal shielded, which means I have to put even more effort to getting through this shit. Oh, wonderful. And all I've got left is my bloody Provoker. I need to replace him. He's not very good. He's got regeneration, which makes him a decent tank, but he can't hit for shit, so it's not particularly great at all. Unfortunately, he's one of the first monsters you get, so you kind of have to work with him until you can get something better. But then again, I can get something better. I've got like 50 other monsters that I can go make, so why don't I go do that? I have no idea. It is certainly one of those games, I tell ya. You really do have to put in the effort to making your party work. And I'm going to have to flee from this, because I only have 1 guy left. And he's almost dead, so time to run for it. You are unable to flee from the battle. Oh dear God. Oh great, he's snared too, which means he might not even get to move this turn. And he's dead. And we all get to teleport back home, so that's unfortunate. That was a surprisingly difficult battle, but anyway. So, we are back here at Siralim now, which is basically our headquarters. If we were to come over here, we can make a new construction ritual. So we can improve our salvaging for 3,000 power, and we can make a Emergent District, which I assume is basically just your typical shop. So you can do that, and there's a bunch of different buildings that can get added on. Like, for example, this chef here is added on via the ritual, and he has the ability to make different food. So the different food will give us different bonuses. So we can pick between a bunch of different cooking styles and cooking ingredients, and for 1,000 crystal we can see what this is. But unfortunately it was quite disgusting, and it only gives us 10% more resources. We can choose to replace it though with something that I've already found. So if I want like 100% extra materials, well, I can do that if I want, and it'll last for a certain amount of realms. Our stuff related to breeding new monsters is all the way down here. So if we come down here to the very starry sky, we can stop in front of this thing and we can summon a creature. And as you can see, there is a ton of different kinds of creatures, and they've all got their own special abilities. And you can use any combination of these 6 characters that you want. Or monsters. Why do I call them characters? But yeah, there's the sand giant. It's, yeah, not very speedy, is it? I mean, the Moss Golem is a lot better because it's capable of making people stop in their tracks. But yeah, all these different kinds of monsters, and they've all got their own graphic, and it's actually quite lovely. He's done a very good job with this game's art style. There's a lot of nice little graphics to look at, even if it does look like in the overworld at times that it kind of looks like an RPG Maker game, but once you do anything even remotely different from wandering around in the overworld and stuff like that, it looks a lot different. And there's even a lot of variety, like the 18 different realms that you can visit all look extremely different, and it's great. So yeah, we can talk to this guy, and we can take creatures with us. And we can even come down here and make monster eggs. So, hello you, I want to start breeding. And it costs 50% power balance, but I don't have enough power balance to go I don't have enough power balance overall to do it, but as you can see, you can breed anything with anything. Unfortunately, it costs you the actual monsters to do that. And if you breed 2 monsters that have incompatible types, you will get just the same as the mother, which is a little annoying, but understandable at the very least. And thankfully, you don't have to breed, you don't have to have like a level 100 monster in order to make that happen. You've got this over here as well, which lets you change your skin. These two guys up in the top left and top right will give you side quests. You have a castle quest, which is the Explore the Abandoned Wizard's Tower at Realm Depth 15. You've got an enchanter up here and a weapon maker. They'll make you artifacts. I'll have to go through the menus eventually, so I'm sorry about that. You've got a library down there, but thankfully you can access it via the main menu at pretty much any time. And the 4 dwarves up in the top left there will play gambling minigames with you, and we'll stop by and we'll play one now. What's this one? I'd like to play Think Fast. Yep, I hit it one time and I got 25 crystal, but it, yeah, I got him. This game here is nothing but luck. It's really annoying because basically you got to get the meter as high up as possible, and you might still lose even if you get it at like 99%. It's silly, but there's still decent ways of my strength was only 0%, of course it was, but yeah. You can still lose, which is kind of annoying. This one is literally just, this one's just luck. You have to guess 3 times, and this one got to hit as close to this as possible. But yeah, I missed because of course I did. So they're just neat little side distractions. There's a bunch of other dwarves and stuff you can find in the levels as well. So now let's actually go through the bloody menus. I know you've been waiting for this. So if we hit triangle, we go into the menu. We can see our own character sheet. We do level up along with our monsters. You can see all of our accolades, and there's a ton of them. You can see the deity points, which I don't remember exactly how you earn these, but you use them for perks. When you hatch an egg, it retains 0% or 5% per rank of each of the parents' experience points. And then you can just upgrade like typical stats, so I might just give us more defense and more healing. Just why not? I probably should have given that to health, but whatever. But as you can see, they're just stat increases, and you can even get individual perks. Some of these are ridiculously powerful. Like, at the start of battle, your creatures cast their extra spell. Your creatures cast their spells that summon extra creatures. That sounds really overpowered, and there's a bunch of those. No active rituals, which are your constructions. This is all your respects from your gods. So yeah, I can get a new Arachnolisk, which is basically a the monster from it, and every one of these has something different along those lines. You've got different runes which you can use that have different effects. So when your creatures attack enemy creatures with bleed, they recover 25% of the damage they deal, which is great considering I've got Rain of Blood. And you can equip all sorts of these runes. There's your wardrobe. I haven't even gotten punishments yet. I don't know what they are. And there's 600 achievements. That'll give you exalted emblems, which you can use to buy things from all the different gods, which is silly, because there's just an absolute ton of stuff to get. It is definitely one of those games that just goes on forever. We've got creature sheets, of course, and we can view the artifacts on them. So as you can see, there's all my secondary stats, but I also take 70% less damage from nature, which is great. And of course, you can modify all these stats later. You can give them spell gems, and these all have different extra properties, like casts on extra target for bone armor, for 37% potencies based on attack. And you can change these later too, so if you want to do that. And you can, of course, you can do different item sets depending on what you're trying to do. And your strategy, which is basically just what your cursor is on by default. And you have tons and tons of different kinds of items. So you've got all your different artifacts that all have different things you can do. You can salvage them as well for different bonuses and stuff. I don't have any cards. I don't even know what they are, or charms for that matter. You have plenty of consumables, like a Pandemonium token. It's too dangerous to use in Siralim. I'll use it. They are very weird. Like, you can get stuck into a really bad battle. Your stuff can get, your guys can get hurt, but you also might get a massive amount of, like, resources. All your cores. I have an egg, and they'll probably hatch later on. Materials. There's a ton of these, and you use these for, changing your items. And you find all of this shit in chests. 112 exalted emblems, quest items, which aren't really relevant or anything. Oh, I got a room. Your creatures with leech also recover 25% of mana when they attack, which is neat. That would be neat for a good spell monster. Sigils. These will put you into different battles. With, this will put you into battles with all sorts of different enemies. So yeah, player can't dodge or crit, but it gets you more resources and experience, which is a neat idea. And you even get higher level sigils if you manage to pull it off, which is great. And I just have one spell gem I haven't put away. And of course, the other basic stuff, you got quests, and you can only have 3 on screen at a time, unfortunately, but it's not the worst thing in the world. And you can see all your completed quests. These are all your spells and your beasts that you found, and you can also see guides to everything. It's really well done. It's got all the information you need. And of course, you can go to options. You can zoom in the graphics, but I prefer keeping it at +1 just because you can see more. Change the music and sound levels. You can change the turbo mode. As I said, don't put on ultra turbo mode. It just gives you random inputs for no reason, at least during this patch. And you can change how all this stuff displays and change it all back to default. And of course, you can save your game. And it won't let you like quit to the main menu or anything, but once you're saved, you can just quit. That's basically alright. So let's teleport to Realm 15 and fight a boss. This is going to end really badly, I guarantee it, but it's worth a try anyway. So you've got bosses that you end up fighting. They have a little bit of story relevance, and they'll give you bonus chests. So now we have to fight an abomination and all its friends. Unfortunately, we can't capture Flubris itself, but we can try... Oh dear, my bloody Abyssal Spectre's been silenced, so there'll be no doing my fantastic combo with it. And the Troll Arsonist tried... Oh, well, it did attack, and it did do something, but we're going to do Rain of Blood, because of course we are. Rain of Blood, please. Now everything will start taking damage, which is nice. The Abyssal Spectre can't cast while it's affected with silence, so... I think I'll try and just get it to attack something. It's probably the best idea, considering I can't really do much else with it right now. And it does drop something's stats, which is quite nice. But yeah, we're going to cast Starfire, just to try and do a little bit of extra damage and add a little bit of... Aw, they're all immune, because it's a boss fight, god damn it. Alright, Firewound Angel, what can you do? I need you to set something on fire. We will set... the main boss on fire. Yay! Now it's going to take a lot of extra damage. Wind Enchantment, huh? I'm guessing it's going to make him stronger, which is unfortunate. No, it makes him faster. Wow! 200 damage in one bleed. Jesus. Rabid Dementia. Oh dear. That does not sound good. That does not sound good at all. It cast Magic Missile, but it did no damage. That's a good start. That's a lot of bleed damage. Alright, I'm going to defend just to make sure that, okay, yeah, that's immune. That's immune. Yep, it's all immune. Okay, so... basically, I'm just going to be attacking. Might as well try and take out the boss monster in the middle first. With the procedural generation, this game will basically go on forever, which is great, because... I know there are people who will complain about games like, I don't know, Dragon Quest Monsters having an end. Which kind of sucks because, you know, you do want to keep raising your monsters forever. This is the sort of game where you can keep raising your monsters forever and it'll actually work in your favor to do so, which is great. And considering that the battle system is so well detailed, with every monster having their own individual ability across 500-something monsters, and having so many different artifacts and stats and stuff you can play around with and modify, for those people who love fucking around with numbers, it's great for them, because you can just... play as much as you want, more or less. You can sit down for 30 minutes or 4 hours, and you can play as much of this game as you want, and it's great. I wonder how the guy in the middle's actually doing. Oh dear, there goes my unicorn. Probably should have leveled up all these guys a bit more before I showed up, but... well, he defended, and... oh, the only thing to get entangled was the thing that can entangle itself. Which is fantastic. And he's still snared. Great. You'd think he'd know a way out of his own trap, but I guess not. So, okay, the enemy Fluberus is mortally wounded, and everything else is actually doing pretty badly. So let's take it out. Of course I do no damage, because screw me, right? At least everything is so badly damaged that I might actually stand a chance of winning this fight. Considering just how much there is to do, and how much... Oh, great. Now I've all got barrier, too, so I have to wear that away with the bloody bleeds. Oh dear, my Moss Golem isn't doing too great. I need to replace those two. Die now, please. Seriously? Come on! And I'm still silenced here, so I can't do much about that. Still 0 damage. And of course he takes damage from Curse. Goddamn Crystal Shield. Bloody transformed again. What's going on with that? That's weird. Oh, great. This isn't a very good party. I need to go and get some different monsters, train them up a bit, and hopefully actually win this bloody game at some point. There is a story, but it's basically pointless. This is mainly just a numbers game, and there is nothing wrong with being just a numbers game. If you're looking for a numbers game with a monster-raising bend, this is the game for you. Just be prepared to get your ass kicked every once in a while. Poison arrow. I assume that's going to poison me. Yep. That was entirely correct. Man, I couldn't even take one of these bastards down before my entire party basically got their asses handed to them. Fantastic. And over goes a plane. Okay. Can you die? No. God damn it. Why am I doing 0 damage? That's kind of annoying. I really do need to think my strategies through a bit more. I definitely need to get rid of a few of my creatures and try working on something a little more, not so much consistent, but a little bit more just synchronized. Instead of just having like 3 different monsters with their own different things they can do. Look at all those benefits, Jesus. Yep, he's dead. Now there's only 2 things left to attack, and we all know what's going to happen there. Yep, that's 1. Bloody plane going over. And now he's going to be poisoned. And now the Troll Arsonist is going to try and attack me. Okay, it hurt me. And let me guess. I take damage from the poison and I don't get out of the snare. So now I just get hit again and I'm pretty much done. Like, seriously. If I take 40 poison damage every turn, I'm done. Because as soon as it comes back around to my turn, it will be gone. Quite difficult, surprisingly. I've got nothing wrong with that. Considering that I could go and grind my guys a bit more to make this fight easier, or just go and get some new monsters. Yep, I got my ass handed to me. That's unfortunate. Oh, well, though. Nothing to be surprised by. This is me we're talking about. So that was a quick look at Siralim 2. It's a monster hunt, not a monster hunting, a monster raising game focused on the numbers. If you love numbers, if you love fucking around, if you love micromanaging your guys down to the most minute details, you will have a lot of fun with this one. And considering that the procedural generation nature of the game means that it can continue on basically forever. Like, here, we'll teleport to realm... We'll go to realm 13. And we'll see just how different it is. It is just a procedural generation thing. And I'll go use one of those bloody chaos runes or whatever the hell they call them. But yeah, I got a realm quest for this realm, but I do not plan on actually doing it. I'm just going to use this, I'm just going to use, yeah, Pandemonium token, that's what it's called. I'll use it into a map of the current realm. Alright, we'll use another one. I got a Sparkling Shard, which gives me 750 energy to all my rituals. And as I can see, I now have a full map of my surroundings and where everything is. That's kind of neat. What else do these Pandemonium tokens have? I'm waiting for the bad effect. Hello, Toron. Oh, hey, I got some paper with him, too. What's the final one? That was weird. That was really weird. And here's Merax's God of Bliss, but yeah, he can't actually give me anything right now. But yeah, this game is neat. It's got enough little side stuff to keep you distracted. The procedural generation nature of all the levels make it so that, it just feels different as you work your way through. There's a ton of different monsters and stuff to get, and the number-driven nature of the game just makes it so that it's really engaging and interesting. While it looks like something out of the... it looks like something out of the 90s. And it's like 200 meg, so you can fit it even on a 4 gig card, and just keep playing it for as long as you bloody like. I'm 8 hours in and I'm nowhere near close to having found everything in the game so far. So yeah. It's pretty good, and I would recommend it if you know what you're getting into, which you do now because you just watched like 30 minutes of me playing it. So, this has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.